Good afternoon and welcome to this instructional handover video for the Auto Trail Tribute T620. So it's 2018 model. I'm going to walk you around the outside and then we'll move on inside to the vehicle. So based on the Fiat 2.3 130, the mirrors fold in manually and then we'll electrically operate both top and bottom mirrors from the controllers just inside. Behind the driver's door you've got your vent cover for the water heater. Now, the cover needs to be removed when you're using it on gas. You can leave it on electric, but it must be removed. Then you can place it back over to stop any drafts going through when you're not using it or when you're in storage the vehicle. Below that we've got a grey tap. See on the left there, there's just a lever. That is your wastewater. It empties any water that's gone down the sink or the shower. So grey one being your grey wastewater. Behind that we've got your mains plug-in point, so that's where you put your mains electric going in, and just pull that little lever down and that will release the cable out of the housing when you finish using it. Behind that we've got your gas locker. It's marked up with LPG, and this will take 2 gas bottles which will sit side by side, and then whatever the correct pigtail is to connect to the bottles. We generally recommend that you use 6 kilogram bottles, and you'll need a normal screw pigtail to connect that up to. On all the lockers there's just one single key that will open and close the locker areas. Behind that we've got the toilet cassette. To empty it you just lift that up and slide it out. Now you will need to make sure that the blade valve is closed inside, otherwise it won't come out. So to remove it out, just lift up that little handle, slide the unit out. There's a little vacuum button that you press to empty it, the little circle at the top. That gives you access into the blade valve, which you do from inside. And then you have your little cap that you would screw off as and when you want to empty the tank. You've also got a handle that pulls out to wheel it to and from. Once you've finished it, push it back in place and it will just clip over there and be able to then be reset and used again. Below that we've got the wastewater, so fresh water. So blue depicts the fresh water drain. So this is where you'll drain the water that's enabling you to fill up the toilet, use to fill up the boiler, use to shower and cook and clean with. So that is your fresh water. So fresh water being the blue one, over here grey one for your any wastewater. The back of the vehicle we've got a high up camera just underneath the brake light just there, and then we come on to the opposite side. We've got an electric step. Your filler point for filling up your fresh water, so just normal hose pipe and that will fill up your fresh water. Make sure your drain is closed. We've added an additional awning, so a Fiamma awning to this, and I'll send you a separate video for that. We've got the fridge vents, and there is a couple of winter covers that come with this unit, so they'll go over there with really cold conditions, and an awning light just above, just up there. Forward of that we've got a locker area. It's accessible from inside and outside, and this is where you will find your battery, so your leisure battery for the vehicle. It's also fitted with a little fuse just on there to check that if that does happen to blow. Again, locking it uses a single key. Forward of that we've got the diesel point. There's no AdBlue on here. That uses the engine key to gain access to that. And if we open up the door we'll find our bonnet release catch. It's just located there. And underneath the seat, this is where you will find your little toolkit is located in that black case there. Comes with a fire extinguisher just located just down there for you. And we've got passenger airbag, glove box and another one just on the top there. The blinds themselves are called Remis cab blinds, and they simply just magnetise on through the side, and the front ones work in a similar fashion, go across and meet with the other one on the other side and lock in place just to screen the vehicle off nice and discreetly. So just be careful, just fastening these forward and backwards. It does just need a little bit of sort of movement of it, and they are only paper, so just be careful. The bonnet itself can be found, the release is just above the actual Auto Trail sign, and you'll see the little lever there. This then gives us access into here, and underneath this little location is where your positive point is if you were to jump it, a negative point just there, or your dipstick, and right to the left hand side is where your screen wash is located. Once you've finished doing that, just gently release the bonnet and that will close it up for you. So that's the outside done. Let's move on inside and then we can talk about how to operate the vehicle itself. So the door will work off the central lock-in. and it's just on the keys, the bottom one will work that. So once it's open there, we've got a bin, a blind, just lifts up, and we've also got inside just your step switch there. So that's where you'll find the step, which press that in, step goes up, press it down, step comes back out. So that is your entrance step. Now above the actual door is where you'll find your main controls, and we'll start with everything turned off. So to turn power onto it, you'll press the standby button. That tells us where the power is coming from, so leisure and vehicle. Always try and run it on the leisure and not on the vehicle, because obviously it will drain the vehicle battery down. We've got a button here that tells us what level is in our fresh water, and we've got a pump button to tell us to turn on the water pump. Now first of all, before you turn on that water pump, you want to make sure that you've primed the boiler, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But please try not to turn this on unless you know you've got fresh water in there, which again, we know in this case we do. Once you've drained it down, and again I'll show you how to drain it down with your boiler as well, make sure that everything's back in place to fill it up before you turn that back on. So first of all, I'm going to go through the bed makeup just because I've set it up to show you. So if you want to make the big bed up, then you can do it this way. So use the bottom of the cushion here, bottom of that, the back, and the infill cushion. You can extend it. Now it sits onto the little extensions here and allows you then to have it as a big bed or a single bed over here. Depends on how you want to do it. Now to make it into that big bed, you've got 3 extension pieces. The 2 outside, so this one and this one here, are actually built into the frame. The other one will probably in the locker area when you come to collect it. Yeah, and I'm going to show you how to sort of disassemble this part by part. So the first job you do is remove your infill cushion, pop that out of the way, and then move your back cushion. That will show you where your boiler is underneath that, but we'll come to that in a minute. And then that, lifted up, will then be your first part. So you use the table to formulate the base, and we'll remove this section here. So again, they're the 2 sections that actually physically pull away. The next section, you lift that up, will just hook onto there. So if you lift that up, it will then just go back in place and hide underneath that panel, just like so. So same on that side, just hooks in place, and it has little latches that you just release to hold them in place or extend it, just like that. And then the table's just located there. You slide the table out and hook it back onto the rail, just like so, and you back up. You've got your 2 travelling seat belts that are just located there, and then your rear facing seat, just like that. So that's how you formulate the beds lower down. For your bed above, pretty straightforward. We hook the ladders onto there and twist the little turnbuckles. That stops any sort of weight being put on it, dropping it down. And then you've got your double bed just here with its own fly screen and blind. We've got smoke alarm and carbon monoxide detectors just either side. This does lift up as well, and we have a little bar here. So if we've got any young ones, which will just hook onto the little hooks either side to stop anyone from falling out. Nice and neat like that. And then we have our own little light, which is just in that corner up in that area as well. So that's the bed above, the smaller or larger double, and then the single bed. In the front area, you can also slide and push it away to give you more headroom if no one's in that bed, or if you just want a bit more space in that area, so that it just pulls out and then pushes in, and the mattress just folds over to give you more room. Yeah. Now the next bit of it, I'm going to show you where your boiler is. So I'm just going to remove the table and the cushions just for the video purpose to make it easy for you to see. So underneath here is where you will find the actual boiler is located. Right, the drain switch for here, it's just that switch there, and that will drain all the water out of the boiler. Yeah. Now when you want to fill it back up, you need to drop it down either that way or that way, and that will allow the hot water boiler to heat up. The switch at the side is just if you want to use the hot water heating on electric, so that must be on, otherwise it won't heat up. And how do you actually do the heating? So what you'll need to look at is just these controls here. So these are your hot water heating controls. To the left hand side we've got EL, so that means electric. So in the middle position is off. Top position is sort of what they classify as sort of 1 kilowatt or a lower speed. The next one down is a higher option for your electric. Again, related to the gas, sort of 70 and 50, depending on what you want to do. But that is on electric only. If you're not hooked up to mains, then you'll need to use it on your gas. And again, it's the same 3-way switch. Remembering on this one, you'll have to remove the cover from the boiler vent on the outside, as I mentioned earlier. 50 degrees up, off in the middle position, 70 degrees on. It all depends on what you want to do. Yeah, so water heating on gas and electric. So again, similar idea underneath here. You've got some more storage under here, and there is a switch here for the electric heating. So just make sure that they're on if you want to use it on electric heating. Ultra heat, as it says there, is for the heating. 2 seat belts are there for your passengers. So lifting up the long seat, you'll see that the storage there, which you can gain access, as I showed you from the outside, runs all along the bottom of the vehicle. So the lockers throughout literally have a little catch that releases them open, and they will be the same all the way along the vehicle, just there. Inside here is a pack with all the handbooks and manuals, and a plug socket for the microwave. Microwave only works on mains electrics, just bear that in mind. So they all close and clip in place, and same on this side, lift it up, and again they will give you your high up storage. So there's also a little switch here which turns on just on the end of the switch for the light. Yep. And in here you might have seen a box. So this is your main control box for the vehicle. To the left hand side, and it is nice and neatly marked on here, you've got all your fuses. So if the fuse think something's not working, just refer to your handbook or to here and have a look, and that generally is where your fuses will go. Under this one is your main RCD breaker, and the main thing from here is this little test button on here. So if we're plugged into mains like we are at the minute, we press that button, that blue little lever should flip down. That means that you've got power coming to the vehicle, and if something's not working, it's more than likely something inside the vehicle with a fuse or one of these others that have actually tripped. Again, nice and neatly labelled up. To isolate the vehicle completely, you turn off the little red switch at the top, and that will turn all the power off to the vehicle. Yep. So that's that. We've got some light switches underneath, and these little ones turn off just on the top. You can turn all the lights off with the main power button as well, the front of the unit. So the blinds, pull them down for the blind, and again for the fly screen. So all the same all the way around the vehicle. To open up the windows, just open the little lever bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then just with the little lever at the top here, you'll just twist them and tighten it up, and that will leave the window ajar. To close it, you'll loosen it off, generally on both sides, and that will close the window. Pull it over that second run, and then that will allow you to securely close the window. Same on the vehicle, just there. Same on that one that opens just there. The middle one is a slightly different one. So this here will just pull down and pushes up, pushes down. Yeah, so that's how that one works just there. This one is a turbo vent. So press the button on and then turn the wheel. That will then open up the vent or close it, depending on what you're wanting to do. So you'll see there. So if you put it on, press it on, and then we determine which way it wants to do. So if we press that, it will go faster. And then if we press that one, it will slow it down. And then eventually start bringing it in, and the fans turn the other way. Like so. And then to turn the unit off, we just press the button off in the middle, and that turns it off, and just open and close it using that. Again, making sure that you do close that before you drive off. Just there. So this has a blind on, so you pinch them together and pull it across, and that screens that area off. And then just be gentle and closing it just like so. Kitchen area, we've got the 3-burner hobs, we've got the stacker 3-pin sockets, again only usable when we're on electric. And again, to put it down, just press that little button backwards and slide the unit down just in place there. The cooker comes fully fitted with an oven and a grill. The grill turns to the right and is just on or off. The oven goes to the left and when we'll regulate, and then to the top at 12 o'clock, we'll be turning it off. You've got an igniter with it as well, just there. These little buttons will need to be pressed out to open it. And inside we've got a little switch there for the electrical sockets. And we've got your gas isolation valves. So all them valves should be pointing up, and in the up position, that is a usable position. You'll also find that your water pump and the filter is located in there as well. Yeah, so all little bits, gas fittings, main socket plug for the pull-up socket, and your pump is located just there. To the side of that, again, if we press the buttons in, we can open it up. Just like so, and we can see with plenty of storage on all 3 compartments for all your kitchen essentials. Yeah, so when you're driving off, just press it in, and again, just there. And then we've got your utensil drawer just up there. So main thing is you're clicking them in place before you're driving off. You're letting this cool down before you close the lid. And again, travel with that in the down position, and that is your tap. So once there's water in the boiler, which again, recapping is under there, you'll come to your tap, and to get it in there from your fresh water tank, you'll turn the tap to the red position, start up your pump, just up there, so starting up your pump, and then you will turn the tap on. Now you want to run the tap until you've got a steady stream of water, yeah? Once you have, turn that off, and then you'll go to your controls, which again, just recapping, are under there, and select what you want to do for your hot water, yeah? If at first it might spit and spurt, that's completely fine, it's just pulling the air through the system. Run it until it's clear and it's a steady stream, then turn off the pump. And as soon as you turn off that, the pump will sit down and stop working. Works on a micro switch system, yeah? So you can leave that pump on there if you want, it's not a problem. Or you can turn it off, whichever way you like. So that's how you would prime the water through your system. Again, back cupboard, we've got a couple of cup holders and plate holders that get supplied from new. And just make sure that they click in place before you're setting off. One of the checks that you will try. So the heating in the vehicle comes from the fire and the blown air system, yeah? So to get the electric on it, you'll need to put the switch on, which is underneath here, and then come to this control panel here and select what you're wanting to do. So 0.5 kilowatt, 1 kilowatt, off, or 2 kilowatts. So select what you want, and then the actual temperature will be changed by turning the dial. Yeah, so 1 being the coldest, 9 being the hottest. So select it to what you want to do. That will then start allowing the electric to heat the vehicle. Yeah, now initially it will just come from here. If you want to select it to go around the areas, you'll need to then turn this outer dial just on the top here to, so normally it'll be in the off position, to either automatic, and what that will do is it will heat the vehicle until that temperature and then turn it off, or manual. And that will manually circulate the heating out of here and through the little vents in the blown air circuit vents through the vehicle. Yeah. If you don't want it to do that, then you would turn that off and it would just heat the fire area up itself. Yeah. Now, if you're wanting it to work on gas, simply what you'll do is, this is the gas side of it, and you will turn it on either 1 and you'll hear it clicking. So that turns it on. To turn the heater up, then you'll need to just either turn it to 2, 3 or 4. And then again, if you want to circulate it around, so that will just turn on the power to the actual fire itself. Again, to circulate it around, you'll either want to flick the outer ring to automatic or manual. Yeah. On the fire side of it, if you want to turn the fire temperature down on electric, then again, you do the same as the gas and turn the little top ring round to 1, 2, 3 or 4 or 5. Yeah. When you finish doing it, flick that off, turn your gas off, and then if you're on electric, just turn that power to the 0 position. So your temperature for your blown air and your heating just up there for electric. You've got your blower vent just on the top there, and you've got your gas on that side. Inside here, you will see is where the aerial's fitted. So as soon as you turn the power off, it will turn the power off that. So it's up to you whether you want to leave that on or take it off. I mentioned about the cover for the hot water boiler, it's there, and the fridge vents are just there, and that is the shelf that I removed before for the makeup bed. So that's your wardrobe area. Into the bathroom, we've got the flush button. So this is where water will be able to be flushed to clean the toilet. So just press the button with the pump on, and it will then send water into there. I mentioned about this blade valve, so that was to remove the toilet. This is this little lever here, and it operates the blade valve at the top. So it's got to be closed for you to be able to pull it out. If you want to open it, which you would normally do when using the toilet, open it towards the back of the vehicle, do what you're going to do, use the flush button to flush it, and then close the lid so you don't get any smells coming back up. Mixer tap there, clearly marked hot and cold. Windows are exactly the same. This is a storage compartment, so again using the same ideas, and we've got the same push-up vent just there. We've got sort of soap and conditioner holders, shower just there, and again clearly marked with a mixer tap there. The tab, you'll just need to remove that when you're showering and in transit, and it just locks in place just nice and neatly there. Lock it in place and you've got that there. Light switch just under here, it's often forgot. That's where you'll find your light switch. And you've got a coat hook and a towel holder just in place there. Once you've finished leaving the vehicle, then you want to turn everything off. You can do this quite simply by pressing the water off there. Obviously turn the controls off for the boiler and the heater. And then to turn all the power off, just press that button there, and that will isolate everything off. Your master shutdown being the button just underneath there. Yeah, that's how you would turn everything off on the cab side, on the habitation side. In the cab, we've got a reversing camera. We've got aircon just in the middle, 6-speed gearbox. We've got cruise control and speed limiter. We've got your indicators and your lights. We've got your windscreen wipers just here. And we've got a little phone, a tablet holder by pulling that up just there. And then pulling the little handle down just like so. Clip it back in place, push, and then push down firmly. Yeah, there's a lock button, which will lock all the doors. And then I mentioned at the beginning of the video, your windscreen, your wing mirror joystick, which is at the top, and then you've got your lock button and your electric window switches just there. The seats themselves will swivel. Yeah. Now to lock it in place, you'll see that little bracket just there. To release it, pull it back and swivel the chair around, and that will allow you then to swivel them chairs around if you want to make them inclusive into the living area. But that concludes our instructional video for the T620. I hope you enjoy your new motorhome. We hope the video is useful to you. Look forward to your feedbacks and comments, but more importantly, we look forward to hearing where it takes you. Thank you.